The first thing I gotta say, I think that the situation there was some gangs.
Yeah.
I mean, they inadvertently, I think, put me in another whole pedestal.
Gotcha.
Because after coming after me, I mean, I raised a good, a lot of money.
Yes.
My name recognition went up, through the roof.
Yes, sir.
I went viral for the right reasons.
Yes, sir.
For the right reasons. Defending something I strongly believe in.
Yeah.
And so I think there was in the end it was a net gain, for me.
Everybody, welcome back to the channel, CDL Cigar and Golf. We are here at the beautiful Foreign Exchange Lounge in downtown Las Vegas, Nevada, owned by my fraternity brother, Mr. Robert Twix Taylor. Look, please like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell and get all of the videos as they're uploaded to the channel. I got a special guest with me today, man. It's a special dude that's near and dear to my heart, man. A Nevada lawmaker. An entrepreneur, an educator.
Educator for sure, yeah.
And a man of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, man. I got my man, Mr. Reuben D'Siva in the building.
What's going on, man? Been working hard.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Look, the man was on a phone call before he walked in the building, man. The man always busy. It's the busiest man in Vegas. He gotta be. There's nobody busier than Reuben D'Siva, man. Look, man, let's get right into it, brother. Growing up here, in the city of Las Vegas, man, going to Rancho High School where you currently teach.
Yep.
What was life like for you growing up here in the city?
So, I'm not a native Las Vegas. I mean, I wasn't born here.
Right.
I'm an immigrant. My family. I was born in India. My family moved to New York City when I was 2 years old.
Yeah.
But when I was 6, we moved to Vegas, and I've been here pretty much, that entire time. My whole life. So I'm a child. A son of Las Vegas, particularly North Las Vegas and the East Side, where I grew up and where I still live today. And now I have the honor of actually representing in the Nevada legislature.
Yeah.
But growing up in Vegas during the 90s, I mean, it was a time. I look at the sort of childhood that we had and compare it to what, I'm seeing now with the youth that I teach. It's different. We were much more outgoing.
Yeah.
We couldn't wait to get out into the streets, into the park, into the rec centers, into the Boys and Girls Clubs. And interact with the youth.
Yeah.
And you don't see as much of that, I think, with the young people today. They're more focused on the devices, video games, more insular in their approach to life.
Yeah.
But it was a tough neighborhood I grew up in. Civic Center, Lake Mead, Webster Street.
Of course, man.
It was
Northtown, man.
Northtown.
30, if you know.
The old 30, yeah. The old 30.
Oh, man.
Grew up, had a lot of friends in the neighborhood. I still have a lot of friends, in the area. I'm still living, in the roughly the same area I grew up in.
Yeah.
And growing up, I went to CP Squires Elementary School. J.E. Man, she was bust out there back in the day. Back in the early 90s. Yes, sir. I went to St. Christopher's Catholic School for middle school.
Yep.
I got a little trouble. And my pops, was really focused on, hey, look, we gotta get him right.
Right.
And I think it's one of the best things that ever happened to me. I went from the streets into a school now where I had to wear a uniform, I had to learn how to tie a tie, shine my shoes every day, and it instilled in me a sense of discipline.
Of course.
That I think is really needed for young folks at that that time in their lives. Yes. And then after St. Christopher's, I went to Rancho High School.
Yeah, man.
I was very involved. I played 3 sports: basketball, track and field. I captained the soccer team.
Yes, sir.
And I was homecoming king my senior year.
Man.
Was senior class president.
Come on, man. Handsome young fella right there, man.
I'm gonna get like this guy right here.
Handsome young dude right here.
But I enjoyed my childhood growing up in Las Vegas.
Yeah, man.
Big time.
No question about it, man. So moving on, man. Graduate from Rancho High School.
And then
you enrolled at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
No, I was actually at CSN first.
Okay, CSN first. Then
back then, CCSN back then.
Exactly.
CCSN back then.
It's now where you can get 4-year degrees.
You can get some 4-year degrees of that too.
At CSN. So you enrolled at CSN.
Mm-hmm.
Get your your prereqs going.
Yeah.
And then you get to the University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
Yeah, I got there, but there was also it was an in-between where I actually did my first semester at CSN.
Yes.
And then enlisted in the U.S. Marines.
There you go.
And left for a while. Almost the whole year.
That's what we really need to discuss, man. That was actually on the docket, but we're going to discuss that right now.
And then I did my basic training and came back and joined the reserve unit. And then after graduating from CSN, I enrolled in UNLV in the spring of 2006.
Yes, indeed, man. Yeah. So your time in the Marine Corps, fighting for this country, which you absolutely did. You took a bullet.
Yes.
For this country. Lost activity in one of your limbs for quite some time.
I can't use my left arm. I can't do any of this. I can't type. So look. But I say as long as I can hold a glass or something.
That's right.
I'm good.
We all good.
I'm good.
Talk about that particular experience, man. Fighting for this country, ultimately taking a bullet for this country, and what it's been able to, number one, instill in you as a man.
It is.
And your thought process moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very formative sort of like time in my life, my time in the Marine Corps. I joined, I did one semester at CSN and then joined the Marines. Yeah. And when it was all said and done, I mean, I felt I had to give back to this country. I'm an immigrant kid. I grew up in a neighborhood. Even to this day, it still has, it has a strong immigrant character. Yeah. And this is 2003 when I enlisted. This is when the Iraq War was kicking up. Yeah. And there was a real call to service, and I felt that this was the right thing to do. Yeah. And so I joined and went to boot camps and did my MOS school. I was a truck driver. That was my military occupation specialty. So I know how to drive all the vehicles in the Marines, from the 7-ton trucks, the LBS, the Humvees, the MRAPs. I got a license for all the bus, the Bluebird bus. I got my license. I got my bus
the
license.
Class B.
Class
B. Come on, man.
So I got all that training, to be a professional driver.
Yes.
In the Marine Corps. And I wasn't even a citizen. A lot of people don't know that. I was a green card holder.
Yes, sir.
When I joined the Marines.
Yes, sir.
And after basic, I came back to UNLV. I finished up at CSN.
Yes.
Pledged Phi Beta Sigma.
Yes,
indeed. And then the very next semester after Phi Beta, pledged Phi Beta Sigma, I was deployed to Iraq.
Yes.
And while I was there, on a convoy on a resupply mission, I was actually hit by a sniper. Bullet went right through my arm.
Wow.
I was able to return fire, and suppress the actual assailant. Yeah. And but then I had to duck back into the turret, lost a lot of blood.
Yes, sir.
They couldn't get help to me.
Wow.
Because we had to get out of the kill zone. This was in the middle of the city of Fallujah.
Unbelievable.
And then, long story short, I was medevaced out of Iraq. Spent a year, recuperating in San Diego. Balboa Navy Hospital.
Yeah.
And then once I was, fixed back up to the best that they could fix me back up.
Yeah.
I came back to UNLV, and that's when I, got back on the campus.
Yeah.
Became the president of the chapter there.
Yes, indeed.
Phi Zeta.
Come on, man.
And the rest is history. But I also got my citizenship. I asked, to become a citizen.
Yeah,
and I was able to get my process, I think expedited because now I was both a veteran, but also a combat wounded veteran.
Yes.
And I was able to become a citizen of the United States because of the Marine Corps, I believe.
Yeah. Huge, man. And it's crazy, man, because we tend to, give reverence to people that are older than us, right?
Yeah.
Now, Reuben is definitely younger than me. Not by a whole lot, but he's younger than me.
Yeah, we're right there. We're close,
And every time I see this man, not just because of what you did, but just who the man that you are and what I've seen you become over the past 20 years. We're looking at 20 years right now, right?
Yeah.
Just what I've seen you become. I feel obligated to give you that reference, man. I do. Even being older than you.
Yeah, and it means a lot coming from you. As a big bro. You be my big bro. It means a lot. It means
100%, man. 100%, man. Look, CDL Cigar and Golf, man. Links and Legends podcast, man. We're live for foreign exchange right now, man. I got the great Reuben D'Siva in the building with me, man. Look. You go through college. You have multiple degrees. Masters. This man, you should be working on a doctorate by now. I mean, this man is ridiculous, man. Unbelievable. So, Class Phi Beta Sigma, all of that happens for you. You get into the political space. What are the most important things and issues? What are the most important issues to you right now that you want to work on in the political space?
Yeah, so, getting into politics was also a journey. So, when I did my graduate degrees after UNLV, I focused on...
Penn graduate right here, too, man.
Yeah, did a master's at Penn and did a second master's at Yale.
Come on, man.
And the focus was international politics. I did degrees in global affairs. And specifically while I was at Yale, understanding the role that religion plays in diplomatic processes. So I wanted to, I was looking at becoming a diplomat. And but there was a certain draw about coming back to Vegas and giving back to this community that gives me so much.
100%.
And I made a decision. Even my pop said it was kind of crazy at the time. Was to come back to Vegas and become a school teacher. They were like, you got these multiple degrees from the Ivy League.
You can do something so much better.
You were recruited by corporate America and the federal government and the United Nations. But he decided to come back to Vegas to be a school teacher. But I just felt it was a calling. It's like it was a vocation.
Sure.
Like you going into the ministry or something like that. Says you got certain credentials and you're not going to get paid as much.
Right.
But you're doing it because you want to better the world.
100%.
And that's what I really felt. It was the right decision. It was the right choice. It was the right thing to do. So I became a school teacher at Rancho. And that's what really got me now focused on politics. Because I quickly saw that if you want a better education, you got to be connected to the political environment 100%. And be at the table.
100%.
And, when you talk about things that teachers are faced with, crowded classrooms, lower pay, issues with contracts, bettering our neighborhoods, so our students have better opportunities after they graduate, strengthening the economy, making sure jobs are vibrant. It was through politics. That's where you got to be. That's where your voice is probably most effective.
Absolutely.
So that's what really brought me to office, to running for office. I ran a couple times before. I didn't win. But then in 2022, I actually was able to pull it off. I won a very competitive primary election. I'm in a very Democratic district, so all I do is really get through the primary and got one with a resounding 67%.
Man.
And now, a state assembly member.
Unbelievable.
Yep, and I'm representing the east side and parts of North Las Vegas in the legislature. And education is my key issue. Absolutely. It is my number one issue and number one priority. And very close to that is the economic diversification and strengthening the economy and really getting jobs and bringing jobs to Nevada, but particularly to my side of town.
Absolutely, man. 100%, man. Look. It's unbelievable, man, what you've been able to do. And again, man, when we talk about reverence, man, like I'm so proud of you, bro. Like just watching you grow, brother, has been it's been a treat, man. He's actually the reason why people call me Goose to this day. We'll tell that story.
You got to tell that story.
He's the reason. He's the reason right here, man. My Neo, man. Mr. Reuben D'Siva, man. So let's talk about your support of the Hollywood bill, man. How did that come about, man?
So I looked at it as a jobs bill. It was a very controversial bill because there was a tax credit that was involved. With attracting Sony and Warner Brothers here. But when you look at it pound for pound, when it all boiled down to what it was going to be, this was a tremendous opportunity for us to diversify our economy.
No question.
So we're talking about a legitimate, well-respected, two businesses, that are in the business of making movies, Sony and Warner Brothers. And the film bill wasn't just about like, folks coming here shooting the video and going back to LA or wherever. We're talking about like rehousing. Anywhere from 12 to 15% of their entire studio apparatus right here in Las Vegas. Right here. So this was truly going to become a Hollywood 2.0. And I really believe that had we done this, had we had the foothold, that, companies like Warner Brothers, Sony, and then others too, Paramount, Disney, Netflix,
they would follow suit.
They would follow suit. But not only that, I think that those businesses that had that rump industry here, the 15% would have grown to maybe 35, 40, 50%.
No doubt.
We got a better tax climate here. We're more business friendly than I think than California. And we also have like something that other cities don't, that are also offering, I think, tax credit incentive plans for Hollywood, which is the sexiness of Vegas, the allure of Vegas. We're an entertainment city,
100%.
just like Hollywood.
100%.
So we have that here. Unfortunately, the bill didn't pass. It failed by 1 vote in the Senate.
Wow.
And I don't know if we'll get that opportunity, but if we do get that opportunity, I want to make sure that Nevadans understand that this is nothing but a win.
Absolutely,
nothing
but
a win
across the board
for our state,
100%.
and especially for Las Vegas.
100% believe that, man. And you've been here, for quite some time. I've been here all my life, man. We watched the city grow.
Yep.
And there was a time where we didn't think anything would be here.
Yeah.
Now look at us.
Yeah, I know.
And we're going to get into some of that.
Yep.
Here in a little bit, man. Yes, indeed, man. So, what are the politics surrounding bringing an NBA team to Las Vegas? Because we just got the news. That the NBA and the Board of Governors has passed the expansion. For Las Vegas and Seattle, man. Talk about that along with the Oakland A's coming here.
That's solid. In sports, I'm quickly having to become like an expert in sports deal negotiations.
Yes, indeed.
And tax credits and stadiums, things like that. So I was very involved with the A's deal. I saw that as a game changer for us.
No question.
One of my bigger sort of philosophy, that this is wider than just sports, is that, we should be open to, I don't want to use the word like poaching, but we need to be open to like getting some California industry into Nevada.
Absolutely.
Because these big, like, not just industries, companies, like entire like parts of the economy are looking at leaving. Hollywood's a good example of that.
Absolutely.
And housing them here in Vegas is nothing but a win. If we got to work a deal out that's good for the people, that's good for the business, and that's good for the state overall, long term, I think we're beginning to like develop that sort of expertise. So we had the Raiders first. Great example. They left Oakland, came to Las Vegas. I think we were a little bit like a little bit young back then when it came to negotiating big sports deals. But we learned a lot from that.
We didn't have to do much with the Aces. They had their arena already.
They already had that set up.
They came from San Antonio, so we didn't have to do much. But
the Golden Knights, same thing, their expansion team. They had T-Mobile Arena, which becomes their home stadium. The A's were a different story. So now they're talking about building a new stadium. Looking for some skin in the game from the state to
it's broken, baby.
Yeah, that's true.
Sir.
For a tax deal. And then also now having like a long-term sort of like vision here. I mean, they're looking at a 30-year sort of like stay.
Same with the Raiders.
With the Raiders,
30 year. Absolutely. 100%.
So but we learned a lot from the Raiders deal. We have an abandonment clause in the A's deal saying that if you leave the stadium, you got to pay off the stadium. And the state gets that asset. We have a strong community benefits, agreement that's made there with the A's. So they're going to be even more in the community when they get here than even the Raiders are. And the Raiders are doing their thing.
Yes, they are.
So there's strong expectations of the A's. And we're becoming like nuanced about things like recession clauses, and which we saw in the Hollywood bill. So we should be open to getting some of the industry. We can talk about, the defense contractors, aerospace. I mean, there's a lot more industry in California that I think that could be drawn into Las Vegas with the rest of the deal. But the politics about the NBA, and particularly right now, the big question is, are they going to ask for a stadium? Because it's interesting when it comes to arenas. We don't really have an actual spot that can house the sort of numbers that we're looking for. I think the NBA numbers are anywhere from 25,000 to like 30,000.
When you're looking at attendance per game, we're probably in that 17 to 18,000.
So if that's the case, then T-Mobile could serve,
would be just
as an arena. It's already established. It's there. They would then the businesses would have to work that out. The NBA would have to work with T-Mobile and whoever the
100%.
the other sort of like business entities are, 100%. Who have a stake in T-Mobile to work a deal out. But there is some talk that that they may want another stadium of their own. That could become political then. Because now you're talking about a tax deal. You're talking about extending the amount of like a benefit, that we already are on the hook for. And that could have an effect on our state budget and our general, sort of like fund.
Absolutely.
So that could make the deal very political. But I'm hoping that we won't have to do that. That they come to some kind of agreement outside a market-based agreement without getting the state involved.
Absolutely.
With an arena like T-Mobile.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that, man. Me being a sports guy, man, I've been looking at all of this stuff real close. I get it. When teams, relocate to different cities, they want the city to help out. Where the city would put forth, if it's a $1 billion stadium, they put forth, $350 million of it, through through
there's a lot of ways you can do it,
and all of that stuff. The taxes at the hotels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure just how much the people of Las Vegas, how much more they can take with that. Because we've done it. We did it once with Allegiant. And we're getting ready to do it again with the A's ballpark.
Yeah, it's already happening. It's already in the mix.
So that's my only concern about that.
Yeah.
I love to see it coming because, of course, us being, me being born and raised here, you've been here since you were a toddler, basically.
Yeah.
We watched the city grow, and we never thought that we could get anything like this.
Never had nothing professional.
Look, if you know, the Las Vegas Stars, who are now the Aviators, were our professional team.
That was our team. Yep.
The University of Nevada, Las Vegas basketball team was our professional team. Larry Johnson, Stacey Allman, Anderson Hunt, those guys.
Yeah.
So that's what we deemed as professional.
Yeah.
So for us to have what we have now,
and
man,
within
it's
10
unbelievable.
Years, we think about that the Raiders deal was established in 2016.
Yes.
It's 2026.
Yes.
And now we're talking about having like everything.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so I think I'm optimistic about the that the fact that there could be a market solution to the stadium question.
Yeah.
That it's a smaller arena.
Yeah.
So another thing that does come up is like what does that mean for ticket pricing?
Sure.
And would it price out locals?
Sure.
Because that's another sort of development too economically that we're seeing with the ticket prices with the Raiders games.
Yeah.
We do and foresee that potentially with the A's because the A's stadium will be the smallest MLB stadium in the country at 33,000.
33,000.
So what that means just from a economic perspective with supply and demand, that there'll be fewer seats available, so that makes the ticket prices go up.
Absolutely.
But in the end, we also have a very unique kind of like sports market here.
Yeah.
Meaning that, like the Allegiant Stadium, that's the only stadium in the NFL where like 2/3 of the fans are not from Vegas.
Right.
They're rooting for the other team.
Absolutely.
But it makes sense economically for us because these are tourists coming to Vegas.
Absolutely.
They're buying the tickets.
100%.
They're spending money in the resort sector, in the
100%.
gaming, in clubs, gaming, whatever you want to do. And that's good for us as a state.
No
the
question.
tax revenue we generate from all of this
Absolutely.
Helps us pay for our schools.
100%.
Our public safety, the
100%.
LVAPD,
Yes, sir.
everything, every public good that you can think of. So it works out for us. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to have home fans in the stadium.
Absolutely.
As long as you have the stadium filled, the state benefits from it, and we get important services that are crucial to us as a state, i.e., education, firefighters, police officers, mental health services, healthcare,
100%.
all that.
100%, man. 100%, man. Look, I'm your guy, Donnell Thomas, man. This is the Links and Legends podcast, man. CDL Cigar and Golf. Look, I want to give a shout out to my brand sponsors, man. The Immaculate Pieces Clothing, and also Smoking Bullet Cigars, man. Shout out to my boy Truman Hopkins, man, and shout out to Alicia and Darwin, man. Thank you guys so much for what you do. So how can the state generate more revenue for human services like education, healthcare, public safety?
Yeah, that is the literally like the multi-billion-dollar question. It's the ultimate question, if you ask me, as we move forward as a state.
Yeah.
Because we have certain built-in kind of like factors that kind of inhibit us from, I think, our full potential.
Yeah.
So one thing we got to be very open to is diversify our economy. So right now the move has been from like gaming to growing our entertainment sort of industries. So we're looking at sports, which is related to which is an entertainment a form of business, and also Hollywood 2.0, which was also entertainment related.
Absolutely.
But I think we have to be open to other things, so tech, engineering.
Tech is huge. We have to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big time.
We have to be.
This maybe broadening our service sector sort of industries.
Yeah.
That's going to be a little bit more complicated, but we have to, I think, like work towards getting there. Like I'll give you a good example. I've sat down with the high level executives at Meta, at Google, at Apple, at Boeing, at Northrop Grumman, defense contractors in aerospace. And one of the things they keep bringing up is that, hey, look, we like the actual business climate in Nevada. We like the actual tax structure, even vis-a-vis where we're living, or where we're at right now, which is generally California and other parts of the country. Yeah. So, but we're worried about the sort of educational offerings of your state. You look at your K through 12; it's down in the 40s.
Yeah.
We've gone up from like 48, 49 up to like 44, 43 now, I think. But that's indicative that we are making moves in the right direction.
Sure, 100%.
But it's still not where a lot of these high tech, especially engineering, companies, these who tend to have a well educated like mid level management and workforce they have questions about that. We look at our university system. They're like, you're in a state of 3.2 million people, but you only have 2 research institutions here. You have UNR and UNLV. Will they be able to be, strong partners with us if we're working on, developing new jet engines, or like new radar technology, or like, a new sort of computer chip, know?
Right. I think too, though, to that point, I don't think people understand our state structure either. We're 75% rural area in this state. And if you've never been here or never did any research on the state, you'll never know that. So people look at Las Vegas as the entire state of Nevada. No, that's not the case. We're down here by ourselves. Reno is up there by themselves. There's everything in the middle. So I think once people fully understand and grasp that concept, I think those conversations would probably happen less and less, and people would actually fully understand the scope of the state.
We just have to, but then that's the chicken and the egg sort of thing too. So if you want to attract, like, because if you have like a developed industry that's based on like high-paying jobs, rooted in like educational credentials and strong union, efforts and credentialing, then that could be a game changer. But they're worried about our education, sector here. But the issue is then how do we fund education to better it and to attract those industries? To me, I think we got to have real conversations about like our property tax base.
Of course.
100%. It is super low.
100%.
But it doesn't like feed into like our the amount of monies we need to better our public offerings, our human services.
I agree.
And then the other one is, we're a state, one of the few states that doesn't have a state income tax. And maybe being open to something. I don't know. The people have to decide this in the end. It will be the people of the state. To ballot initiative, I think, is the way to do it. So they're voting for any sort of like tax increase. But it's a complicated conversation. But I believe that if there is a sort of demand from people, then we should actually abide by that and look at it. Because I know that when it comes to taxes, it's a very unpopular thing. Unpopular conversation.
No doubt
about it. But we need to do something significant in order to raise our revenue so we can fund our state, essentially.
Absolutely. 100%, man. I mean, it's only so much you can get from the DMV and people paying their registration. Because there was a time where no one was coming to Vegas, no one was spending any money here. It didn't go down completely, but there was a time where you notice, hey man, the Strip not so packed. Like it usually is. So I 100% agree with that sentiment, man. So moving on, man, you guys seem to get bills passed up north, man. What are some ways you believe that you can do the same with the U.S. Congress, man? Because that's it's kind of unequal there, man. So let me hear what you have on that.
Get me caught up a state official, getting me caught up in federal issues. But I think there's a lot. I think as people go to Congress, they go there with like this good intentions. They usually, many of them are, before they go to Congress are like, state assemblymen, state senators, and state legislators, or city council folks.
Shout out, I got Stephen Horsford, by the way, too, man.
Oh, yeah. He
100%,
did
great.
Yes,
indeed.
And he's a good example. He was a state senator.
No doubt about it.
Before going into Congress.
Yes, sir.
So you're used to getting things done in the state houses. I mean, we work in the bipartisan way. There's some gridlock, but there's also a lot of things done. Even if you look at what happened in the last legislative session, this was a session now where the governor vetoed historic levels of bills. I think it was like 85 or 86.
Oh my God.
But we got like 400 bills passed. And signed into law. In a bipartisan way. So, I think that there's some like structural issues too at the congressional level. Things like, having to run in a constant like cycle in the U.S. House of Representatives every 2 years. So it's like you're running, going up there, coming back and running. And there's not enough time to actually develop relationships, in Washington, D.C., like the way we do in Carson City. Because when we go to Carson City, we're up there for 4 months, and that's it. So we have to work. We see our colleagues from the other side. We see the governor, the attorney general, the state electeds, and we have like a understanding, a civil understanding of one another. So there's less like animosity. And the other thing is too, and this is real, and I know it's controversial, but I am a very strong supporter of having term limits in the U.S. House of Representatives and in the U.S. Senate.
100%, bro.
Because we know we have a limited amount of time to get things done.
Bunch of old farts in there, man. Let's be honest.
You go in there with unlimited.
Let's be honest, man.
And you have no sort of like time frame as to when you're going to be done. I think it inhibits you to just play the long game instead of like, hey, look, I'm here for 12 years, which is I'm term limited after 12 years.
Yeah.
I got to get stuff done.
Yeah.
So I think there's a sort of a propensity and a sort of incentive now to get something done for your constituents instead of just kicking the can down the road and not getting anything done in the end. There's so much gridlock in Congress. I think that is one of the things that we can look at doing. And I believe that there's strong popular support for putting term limits on the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate. And if you look at everything else, the presidency is term limited. Yeah. In the 1960s, I believe we passed or the 50s, we passed a bill to term limit the presidency. Yeah. So every other pretty much elected office or appointed office is term limited, except for the Congress and the judges, the federal judges. Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah. Wow, man. Wow, man. It's unbelievable, man. And because I'm a guy that I don't ingratiate myself into the news because it's always sad.
Yeah.
Right?
That is,
But what I do is I get just enough of it to know what's going on in my state and in the world as a whole.
And that's the most important thing.
Yes, it is.
You got to get the basics.
About it, man. And to have you here explaining this from your perspective and just being able to know you on a personal level and have you speak to my subscribers and to the people that follow along with me is gigantic, brother. I just want to say thank you for that.
And I want to thank you for even giving me this platform.
Come on, man. Man.
Because I'm really big about getting out there and communicating directly with the public. So thank you again for this opportunity.
No, man, 100%, man, 100%. Last question for you, man.
Okay, I got you.
It might stir up some good trouble, man.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
So what's your beef with Moms for Liberty, man? We gotta know this, man, because all of us from here, from Vegas, right? We watched you for the better part of a couple of days. That was a story.
Like 2 weeks. It was
I mean, for a couple. But I'm saying where it was the lead story. Where it was very intense. And we watched you really advocate for those kids, man. Tell us about that beef, man, and what you, I don't want to say gained out of it because there's really no loss or gain, but what did you feel you conveyed to the public? With, number one, your representation and just your overall comments about it.
The situation is bigger than just myself. I mean, the reason why I actually fought back and pushed hard against Moms for Liberty, and let me just explain to the audience what happened.
Please explain to them.
So there was some student walkouts that were organized by the students, at Rancho High School, who I teach at, and at many other schools around the CCFD across the valley. And so the students at Rancho decided to organize a walkout, and they walked out. And I wasn't even on campus when it happened. I was actually off campus. At another function. I had to take a half day. And I came back to school at 6 p.m. But as I'm coming back to school, I'm looking at the actual footage and the newsreels and the coverage. And I saw just some vitriol, just some I'll be honest with you, just racism.
Yes, sir.
Calling these kids all kinds of racist names because they're out there, protesting for immigrants' rights and against ICE. And there was one of my students, in my class whose video was already going viral at the time. Just a couple hours after his interview. And just reading the comments, just how nasty grown people talking about kids.
Talking to kids, absolutely.
Absolutely racist comments. Calling him a monkey and calling him he's uneducated, he's illiterate.
Right.
Just all kinds of vileness coming from grown people about these kids. I felt I had to say something positive.
No question.
So I was getting ready to go back to school and hit the Rancho basketball game. The girls were playing that night. It was like 6 p.m. I go into my classroom and I make a video saying one thing. I say, let me just celebrate the fact that these students are civically engaged. I didn't talk about the ICE issue. I talked about immigration. I said, I'm just so proud of these. I am proud of these kids for going out and expressing themselves and participating in something that has a long history in America. Which is
the God-given right to do.
God-given right. And a high school walkout is a way of participating.
Absolutely.
We teach that in our textbooks. There's many ways of engaging in government. You can vote. You can petition and write letters to your representatives. But you can also protest. You can also rally. You can form associations. And this is one of the ways that Americans have historically interacted with government, especially if you can't vote. And those kids aren't voting. They're either under the age of 18, or some of them are citizens, so they can't vote, but they have a voice that they want to bring to the public. So I did that, and they just go crazy on me. They sent thousands of emails from all over the country, calling me to be fired. That I was indoctrinating kids. That I was being woke. I'm like, the kids aren't even in my classroom. It's off my contract time. This is 6 p.m. They thought they made a fundamental mistake. They thought that I was making this video right after the kids all walked out. During school hours.
They thought you might have been. They thought you might have stirred it up.
Yeah, but they were foolish for even making that that sort of prejudgment.
Absolutely.
I was completely 100%. Within my rights.
No question.
So I was like, bring it. And then the other thing was that and how hard they went against me. I'm like, they're trying to do two things. They're trying to muzzle teachers, and they're trying to intimidate students by going after a very popular teacher. And I felt that it was not just my duty to walk, because I could have just walked away, but I know nothing from that. They had no legal grounds. They had no grounds at all. Even the school district told me very quickly, they have no case against you. Don't worry about it. Just walk away. But I had to push back because of who they were trying to intimidate. Kids and teachers.
100%.
And I have a platform. I'm an elected official. I'm not just a teacher. I can go on TV. I can go on the radio. I can push back. I have thousands of people, tens of thousands of people I can directly interact with and then get a message out to. And I did. And I wanted to really show that how foolish Moms for Liberty was. In doing what they did. Without having all the details down. And also that the organization itself is not about liberty and freedom. It's really about censorship.
Control.
It's about control. They have a huge fights about the sort of books that they want our kids to be engaged in our public schools. Changing curriculum. They were really one of the groups behind getting an African American AP out of the Florida schools, where they have a lot more sort of influence. And hopefully they'll never get to a point where they can actually do things like that, where they're removing entire curricula courses out of our school system. And it's a reminder for us to be vigilant and to fight back when we can. Because I believe that one of the greatest strengths of America is our diversity. And to also know our history. You have folks in their group, and their group is affiliated with hate groups, by the way. The Proud Boys. These are groups that are downright hate groups. White supremacist organizations. And they have affiliations with them. So there's concern there. When groups like Moms for Liberty get involved with our public education system, they have 2 of their members now on the school board, which I think is something a lot of Nevadans don't know about. A lot of Las Vegans, don't know about. And so we got to be very vigilant to defend our rights, defend our 100%. Ability to express ourselves, 100%. And to also protect our curriculum. I think we should be talking about the civil rights movement. We got to be discussing the Chicano rights movement. We got to talk about the Civil War. That the Civil War was eventually not fought over states' rights. But the root cause was slavery. We got to discuss, it is good and bad there. We got to talk about our founders, who were great men. Who formed and founded one of the greatest nations in the world. But we had to struggle with issues like, how do we get women involved in our political process? You look at Abigail Adams. Remember the women, she tells her husband. John Adams was one of our founders. You look at slavery. And I believe that our founders struggled with them, but they kept the institution. To put the country and keep it, united. But that led to the Civil War. And to the Jim Crow and so many other ills that we have to deal with it. But these are important parts of our history that we shouldn't be shying away from. We should talk about them. And then use that as a backdrop to now talk about the future and how can we actually reconcile and be a more united people, but understanding that there was a lot of injustice done to certain minorities, especially African Americans, and especially Native.
No question about it. For real. Man. And I think, man, and I've always felt this way, right? Number one, our state constantly comes in second to last or last in education, right? Talking about the state of Nevada. And if you look at the history of the state of Nevada, and you know this, so I'm not I'm not telling you nothing that you don't know. Our state is historically racist. There's articles. If you Google Mississippi of the West, articles will come up on just how brutal racism was in the state of Nevada. And I really don't think people truly understand
Oh yeah. This was a
oh my goodness.
It was this was there's a reason why they call it the Mississippi of the West.
Man.
And I actually introduced a bill last session, a reparations bill.
Yes, sir.
The bill wasn't as much focused on slavery, but on the Jim Crow era.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
The period after slavery. Sir. Nevada becomes a state in 1864.
Yes, sir.
Tail end of the Civil War. The southern part of Nevada, which is Las Vegas today, was actually part of the Arizona territories back then. And the Arizona territories, according to the compromise of 1820, was an area where you could actually have slavery.
Yes.
So there's some research being done as to whether or not the Arizona territories had slaves.
Wow.
How widespread the practice of slavery was before the Civil War.
Yes, sir.
But my real focus with the reparations bill was what happened to black folks, descendants of slaves now, who are moving into Las Vegas. How were they treated? Were they kept away from opportunity?
Yes.
Were they redlined? Yes. Were there real estate deals done that that we need to revisit?
All
and
if we
do, and if there was like guaranteed, sort of like a work that was done with the state or the county or local government that actually kept black folks from opportunity, then I think that there should be some sort of reparation made, like you did in California with that family that lost the park.
Yes, sir.
And then I think were granted like $10 or $20 million because of it. Because so.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the bill passed the legislature, but it was vetoed.
Yes.
By the governor.
Yeah.
But I think that this was just a study to look into the past.
Yes.
So, but I think that we should be open to studying. Our past, especially if it kept families
100%.
In recent history, living memory,
100%
away from opportunity.
100%.
Because of their race. And I'll stand by that all day.
100%.
All day.
100%, man. Look, CDL Cigar and Golf, man. I'm your guy, Donnell Thomas, man. Links and Legends podcast. And I got the great Reuben D'Siva right here with me, man. Look, I want to thank you, brother, for your time, for the effort that you put into not just at Rancho High School, but the entire state of Nevada, man. I want to thank you personally for that, man. Let the people know where they can find you, social media wise, website wise. Let the people know.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I'll say, before I talk about my contact information, that I am so thankful for Donnell. He's been a big bro to me. My big brother is Sigma.
Yes, indeed, man.
That he's also somebody who's a public servant.
Yes, sir.
He serves and protects the people of Nevada, the people of Las Vegas. And this is a great platform. I'm so glad he was able to, create this opportunity where I could talk about, something that matters, I think, it's important to me, of course, but to the people at large, which is politics and what's going on in our state, because it affects everybody. Yeah. So thank you for creating this platform and for inviting me as a guest.
100%, man.
And if anybody else wants to engage with me, wants to interact with me, I'm on all the social medias. Reuben D'Siva. My name is spelled Reuben. Last name D'Silva. It's capital D as in David, apostrophe, capital S as in silver, ILVA. You can hit me up on Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter, Facebook. Just Google me, come up. I have a website, D'Silva for Nevada. There's multiple ways you can reach out to me. Yeah. So looking forward to getting connected with you. Please holler at your boy.
Yes, indeed, man. Look, man. It's CDL Cigar and Golf, man. Links and Legends podcast. Got the great Mr. Reuben D'Siva right here, man. Appreciate y'all chiming in, man. Peace and love.
Peace. Boy. Yes, sir.